It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. Kicking off the show tonight, we heard something from the Use Your Illusion release with the Dead Horse. Tired of beating a dead horse, and heard some Metal Church there with Harm's Way, and a guy who knows a little bit about being in harm's way, our good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
What is up, sir? We are down to it. The last fucking 6 hours of this shit.
Well, don't sound so goddamn happy about it.
I am happy about it. I never make any bones about it. This is my favorite show of the year because it means I get a few weeks off to just recover and not have to cut up fucking video or even think about this shit for a couple of weeks. I'm excited about the break.
You're very bitter. You just sound bitter. I'm going to have to find somebody else to I need somebody who's a little more up and happy and, jovial.
I'm gonna tell you what. I won't even fight you on giving up the slot. I'll package this fucking equipment up and mail it to whatever address you send me, my friend. Here you go. Even the shit that I bought, I'll send it with it.
Yeah, I'm fucking out of here.
Bye bye. Hello Saturdays, where I can go do something again.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
No, you got to say it like the Rev. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Remember that? Bye bye.
Yeah. He was such a turd.
That guy.
Still is.
Once a turd, always a turd.
Now he's a Benjamin Franklin turd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still a turd.
Yeah. Well, here we are, Mr. Aiken. We have rounded it down to the end of 2019.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
It is crazy. I was trying to look back a little bit on 2019, and actually, this has not been a bad year.
No, not for what, the show or just in general?
Just in general. I mean, things are good. I'm healthy. I make a good living. The show is doing real well. We added new features to the show. I've got peace of mind. I'm not being bothered.
Yeah.
Aside from when I leave the house.
Yeah, except for every minute that you leave the house.
Yeah. But, things are going well. I really have had no major setbacks this year. I mean, obviously with you, a year or so ago, you were dealing with the health of your son, and you were dealing with some personal issues with your back and your foot and all these other things. And I don't recall that plaguing you as much this year.
No, everything's fixed. My foot works. My back works. I'm back doing fucking fat guy yoga again. Feeling a little better, lost a little weight, got a lot more to lose, but have lost a little. Yeah, no, 2019, not a terrible year at all. I mean, I think I'm the eternal bitcher, and any year that I don't make like a mil 5, I'm going to be pissed, but just every year. But, I have no complaints. I mean, the show's been fun this year. Not as ha-ha funny as other years, but still fun. And what's weird about it is, I was working this week on, I'm running overdrive trying to get as many segments moved off of YouTube and onto BitChute and Vimeo as I can. And so I've been listening to a lot of the segments from not only this year, but the past. And God damn, we did some funny shit this year.
This year?
This year.
Yeah.
All time, yeah. And it is fun to listen back to some of the all-time segments that I had not listened to in forever. But even this year, it's like last week, I'll give one example. Last week, I thought was a really solid show, but I didn't think was very ha-ha funny. And we got at least 10 messages from people fucking saying, this fucking segment with the Gilbert O'Sullivan is the segment of the year. Fuck this segment. And I was like, really?
Because I thought the one with the perverted lyrics, the first one we did a few weeks ago, was funnier, but okay.
I thought so too. I thought, all right. I thought that was way funnier than last week, but I guess that Claire really struck a chord with a bunch of people as being some sick shit.
Yeah, so. Well, yeah, and of course, and this guy, talking about climbing up a tower and throwing himself off.
It was pretty fucked, that's for sure. But well, I guess, you know what, dude, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I think you and I are so close to it that we don't recognize it. You know what I mean? Like I can tell you for a fact, we've done 50 shows or whatever this year. I don't think I've come out of 5 of them where I was like, that's the funniest shit we've done. I just never do. I'm always like, okay, we're done. Bye-bye. You know, and then I hear it back like 6 months later, a year later, or I'll see messages or whatever from people. And then I listen back. I'm like, God damn, that was some funny shit.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is it just moves so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so off the cuff because you and I just say shit immediately as it hits our head.
Right. Sure.
And we don't have time to digest it or think about what we're saying. We just spout it out.
Right.
And most people in general don't do that.
Right.
Or they think of it, but they would never say it. And then I think the relatability is a lot of people say, I was just thinking that.
Right.
You know,
probably.
They said exactly what I would have thought, but I would never say that, you know.
Right. Sure.
So that's the whole thing. And it's just like, you know, again, that's why I don't preview segments. That's why I don't read over stuff. That's why I don't plan anything. Because if you do, it just becomes contrived and you have to remember, oh, what was I going to say about that? You know, and,
right.
and you don't want to do it. You just want everything immediately off the cuff.
Exactly.
And of course, you know, I don't really give you any precursor to anything that we're going to talk about. So you come in completely blind.
Right.
And give first take impression. And that's the best stuff.
Dude, what's funny is there's sometimes, and you know, I'll pull the curtain back. I don't give a shit. There are times when I start ranting and I really don't know where I'm going. I just start ranting, and then I usually find my way to where I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
But it's like I just start ranting and raving, trying to, you know, thinking I have a point, and almost always that point comes out being something completely different than that first thought that came to my mind when I started yelling.
Right.
Too funny.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so you know the thing that works here is just the fact that again I steer the ship. I bring the most of the material to the table. I know what the hot button issues are. I know what what will get us both engaged.
Right.
And that's how it works.
Yeah. Well, it definitely works. It definitely works. It has been working for really ever. I mean, in the total amount of time that me and you have done the show together, which is what now?
15 years almost.
15, but so 12 of actual years that we've done it together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think outside, and I'm going to put a filter in here, other than shows that had technical difficulties, do you think we've had 5 bad shows?
No, not in the context of a bad show.
Yeah.
You know, I think the ones that have ruined a show is obviously if we had maybe a, like you said, technical difficulty of some kind or whatever, or, you know, maybe you had to run out because you had an emergency or something like
but
that.
even that, I did that last week. It didn't affect the show for shit.
Well, true, but you weren't gone that long.
True.
You were just gone for a long music break.
Right.
But
even last year, though, with that, remember, I went to the hospital with my kid.
Yeah, you were actually sitting outside in a Walgreens parking lot, I think, or something. You were sitting in your car.
I sent him in,
yeah,
and then I sat where I could see the waiting room.
Yeah.
See when he came out, and so that he could come to the window and wave me in if I was needed. Then I did the show with you. There's no use sitting in the waiting room. What good is that going to do?
Right, exactly.
You know, so yeah, it is weird how this thing works. It works different than anything I've ever done and anything I've ever heard, but it works.
Well, again, technology plays a huge role. I actually, I was updating the server today. Man, right. I don't know what it is with Microsoft, but with that server, that thing gets 4 or 5 updates every week. It's really weird. But anyway, Saturday I do my maintenance, and then once I get the server up and running and get the broadcast rerunning and all that other stuff, it'll start playing a segment, and I'll listen to it. Now, I heard when I was getting ready to take the server down,
yeah,
there was an old interview that I was doing with George Lynch.
Okay.
And, you know, it was good and stuff, but, you know, I'm always keyed in on the audio.
Right.
And, you know, it was from 2000 and, boy, I want to say it was around 2009 maybe.
Okay.
And then right after that, a more recent segment came up, I think from like 2016.
Right.
And the audio quality was so much better.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it was just like, wow, what an improvement. You know, what we were doing at the time, you know, back in the mid 2000s to, you know, late 2000s, we thought, man, this is mint. But, you know, then you fast forward 5 or 6 years and you go, wow, that was shit.
Right. Well, and it's weird because it was mint at the time.
At the time.
It's not that we thought it was mint. It was mint at the time. You know, but it just, by comparison, it just sucks now.
Yeah. Yeah. Listening back, it's just like, wow, that audio was a bit dodgy, but you know, it was good for that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it's good stuff, man.
Yeah, a lot of improvements along the way, and you know, it's always just being vigilant all the time.
Yep, it's just paying enough attention to keep it moving forward and keep trying new things. And you know, I feel like we're in a good place right now where we're ahead of the curve again. You know, especially with the video piece, I feel like the video piece adds a new dimension that most podcasts do not have.
Yeah, especially since we're remote from each other.
Yeah, I think the only ones that really have it are the big players now. You know, honestly, I don't think the regular schmoes have a video element. Not usually.
No,
certainly not live for as long as we do.
Yeah, that's true. Well, speaking of people that, you know, have that capability and do it very well, I was rewatching the 5th anniversary of the Anthony Cumia Compound show.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking about, you know, and I watched it before, but I watched it a little more intently this time, and he was talking about all the, you know, the trial and error that they went through just trying to get that thing off the ground. Mm-hmm. You know, to where it's at today, you know. So, you know, from doing it in his basement, mm-hmm. They were showing some photos from the backside of where Anthony was sitting, and it just reminds me of what we do here.
Right.
He's sitting there working all these controls. He's got 2 or 3 computer screens in front of him. He's working the board. He's working the camera controls.
Yeah,
he's just doing all of it, you know, trying to do the show and then run everything as well.
Yeah,
and you know, obviously he got to the point to where he could hire people to you know, run the video bay, and so he could concentrate on, you know, just being the show host.
Just being funny.
Yeah, exactly. But it was interesting to see, because I didn't know shit about any of this. We were just buying equipment and say, hey, let's see if this works, or let's see if that works, and see how that fits in. And yeah, we got to get a different studio, and we got to get a bit better setup and better cameras.
Right.
And you know, I was watching a little bit of. You probably saw it since you got the subscription, but who was that guy on the Cumia show recently? They were talking about the Saturday Night Fever movie.
Oh, that Justow guy or whatever, Justow, Dave Justow or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was, but it was really funny.
Yeah, that guy was funny. He was really good. He was on Wednesday.
Yeah,
that was Wednesday's show. Yeah, he was an older looking guy with weird hair.
Yeah, exactly. But he apparently worked on the scene or something, or worked on the movie or something. He was part of some production team or something.
It was so funny listening to him and Ant go back and forth doing their Travolta impression. Fucking hysterical. I
had no idea. Again, I've seen the movie maybe 3 times in my life.
Right.
And I had no idea that Sylvester Stallone was behind the scenes on that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I never liked that. Do you like that movie?
Not really. You know, it was very, you know, for the time. It was that 78, 77?
I think earlier than that. That was mid Bee Gees era.
No, that was like 77, I think.
Night Fever.
77 or 78.
I was a kid when it came out, so.
Well, so was I. So
it was 77, December 12th, 77.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, so it was very topical for the time because, when I was in junior high school when that came out, and the disco fever had struck and everything was disco this and disco that, right. And part of I remember some of the parents being upset about this, that in gym class they were teaching disco dancing.
Ooh, horrible.
It's just like, wait a minute, what does this have to do with school, disco dancing? So they were teaching the kids how to do the hustle or whatever. Whatever it was that was the popular dance at the time. That's what the gym teacher elected to teach the students as gym class.
Yeah, instead of teaching them fucking square dancing, which is what we got half the time, they taught them something that was at least relevant.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but you got to realize that, for some people, especially who have religious beliefs, they don't believe in dancing.
Right, true.
So that kind of goes against, like, what are you teaching my kid that? We don't believe in that, or that's not something we teach our children, or whatever the case may be. So I remember that caused an uproar.
And next thing you know, you'll be teaching my son to suck a dick. Oh, I guess that's happened now.
Whoops. So it was just funny watching that. But when I look at guys like an Anthony Cumia, who struck out on his own after getting booted from the commercial radio business and striking out on his own, and putting together his own video production and his own show and this and that, and I guess he must be doing okay. Going on 6 years now.
Yeah, he's 6 years and got a shit ton of shows.
He does.
Not many of them are any good, but he does have a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
I've tried. I mean, you know me. I inhale TV. I literally do. There's never enough TV for me. I've watched every one of the shows on Ant's platform, at least 10 episodes, so that I would get like a legitimate feel of what's good and what's not.
Right.
And by my count, there's like 3 shows I can watch on his platform. There's obviously his show, which I love. And I believe it or not, because we used to goof on this guy, relentlessly or unrelentingly or whatever the word is. I like the Don Jameson show a lot.
Okay.
That's pretty good. That Jameson show, that's pretty good. And I like In Hot Water with Gino Bisconti and Aaron Berg.
Okay.
But the rest of the shows are just, I think I'd rather get a root canal without anesthetic. I did just to watch, and part of it is that a lot of it is political. I just have trouble with, like, I can't watch Pat Dixon's Crime Report. I can't watch Trump and those. I just can't immerse I get my share of that here, and that's all the more I want to hear about it for the week. I can't go and watch Nightshade every night at 11 o'clock on Cumia's network to get a recap of the news. I just don't want it. If I don't watch the regular news, why the fuck would I watch a recap?
Yeah.
And Eastside Dave show is fucking god-awful. The morning show is god-awful. Other than that, Joanne Nosachinsky is fucking hot as could be. But, it's just, I wish Ant had better shows. I'll be honest, I haven't really. Dave took over. Did I tell you that? He took over one of those shows, a fair one?
No.
It's now with him. Because remember a couple months ago we did the story about the guy that got hired for Saturday Night Live and then got booted before
the comedian guy.
Yeah. Well, that guy was Shane Gillis.
Okay.
Shane was the co-host of A Fair One on the Cumia Network.
All right.
And he left to go and do Saturday Night Live. So Dave Landau took over his spot and is now the lead on that show.
I see.
So now Dave is got 2 shows over it, and I haven't really watched it much since Dave's been on it, which shame on me, I guess. But I need to give that another chance. I didn't like it when it was, originally came on, though. It was just boring to me.
I hear you. Well, anyway, I'm just, very optimistic about the direction of this show.
Sure.
And take inspiration from people who are doing similar things. Obviously they're doing it on a more, professional level, just due to the fact that, there's a lot more money involved.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody who, works on a shoestring budget, as it were,
mm-hmm.
we do okay.
We're in the ghetto compound.
Exactly.
He's in the regular compound. We're in the ghetto compound.
Right, exactly. We're 2 blocks to the left.
That's right.
Well, anyway, again, I was just kind of sitting back thinking about how quickly this year went and
Sure.
The strides that we made with the show, and the fact that, due to your diligence of distributing the show to other platforms, because obviously week after week, YouTube has become the most unfriendly place for content creators, and it's just about over for YouTube.
Oh yeah, we're done there. We're gonna post everything there until they turn us off, but they're gonna turn us off now that we've been tagged as a hate speech site.
Yeah, we're hateful.
Now that they've already demonetized us for hate speech, so it's like, fuck you. Now it's time to get everything moved, get everything on Vimeo, get everything on BitChute, and we'll do that, and then we'll just we'll do the shuffle as the term goes. Once they kill us, I'll just launch temporary channels once a week to put up episodes so that people still find us on YouTube.
Right.
But we'll just leave them there till they get suspended, and then we'll get everybody to where they need to get to.
Yeah. Well, I see that even our Styx has conceded that YouTube is over.
Yeah.
And of course, our good friend Razor Fist and, Jericho Green and, all the content creators that we enjoy and like and are of like mind and really do a good job at each respective channel that these guys do. But yet, they're all of them are catching the heat too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're all going to get shut down. I mean, we'll probably be after, even though we're more heinous than most of those. But whatever. I mean, dude, at this point, I just want us to hang on long enough for me to get all the videos down.
Right.
Because I don't want to have to create new videos. Although, I have a feeling I'm going to end up having to create some of the videos. But, we have everything archived, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just getting, the problem is we got 4,000 fucking videos.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while. I've been doing 10 a day, and it takes an hour a day.
I gotcha.
Because I got to do all the descriptions and all that other shit. So it takes about an hour to upload them and put them up and put them on both platforms and, all that kind of shit. But I'll keep doing it. And, we'll keep pushing to YouTube until YouTube fucking cans us.
Yeah, well, I see that even Mark Dice, he's one of the lone holdouts. It's like, well, I'll just stay here on YouTube until they tell me I can't be on here anymore. And I don't think that he's got another out platform.
I don't think he's. Well, I've got my BitChute open here. Let me look up Mark Dice. Mark Dice. Let's see. Well, it looks like he does have a channel. Oh yeah, he has he just doesn't promote it, I guess, because he has a channel and everything that he does every day is on here.
Okay.
Yeah, his posts every day are here. So.
All right.
So he does have a BitChute channel, but he's just not pushing it yet. It's there.
Well, what a sad day. Who would ever thought that YouTube would have gotten to that point?
Yeah, certainly not our fans that said I was wasting my time.
Yeah, you're not even on their radar, pal.
Yeah. Now I see that they're also that part of the new TOS for YouTube that kicks off January 1st is being accountable for comments. Right. Another thing that I saw coming.
Yep.
Another thing that I took heat for when I turned off all the comments on the fucking YouTube. Remember, I did that. People were messaging. You're just being a pussy because you don't like people saying things about... Okay.
All right.
Yeah, now they're going to hold fucking content creators responsible for what people post about their videos. They're going to issue copyright strikes and hate speech strikes because of what the viewers think. So if you attract viewers, so literally if you don't like a video or something, you could just post, "You're a stupid nigger," as a comment and get them in trouble.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Well, welcome to 1984.
Yeah, well, I'm not coming to play.
Yeah,
But
very Orwellian.
it is. Whatever. That's YouTube. They own their product, and that's fine if they want to wreck it. But, it's everybody's going to jump off. Everybody's going to find the alternative. I don't know if it's BitChute or DTube or, there's a bunch of players out there. I personally like BitChute the best, and seems like a lot of the content creators like BitChute the best. But, it'll morph into something else. It always does. This shit. Social media changes. It comes in, it changes, and then things die off. YouTube's going to kill their own platform.
Of course.
Dude, I know you follow Styx. I follow Styx. I watch Styx pretty much every day. He was saying the other day, and I tested it because I was like, oh, he's got to be full of shit. He said, if you Google or if you go onto YouTube and you search Styx Hexenhammer, his name,
yes,
his screen name, that mainstream media videos come up before any of his.
Yeah, I saw him say that. Yeah,
and sure as shit, if you do it, it works. If you look up Styx Hexenhammer, you'll get something from MSNBC.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck?
Well, they piggybacked off of his success and to promote mainstream channels.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, you built, well, I remember, this is back a few years ago, but that Ariana Huffington.
Yeah.
She built that Huffington Post by, using writers and everything and whatever. And then she cashed out and sold it for millions of dollars. And everybody who contributed to the site got nothing.
Yeah, they got all fucked.
It's just like, wait a minute. We helped you build this site.
Yeah,
we helped you make Huffington Post I don't know if you want to call it a news organization, but a media site.
Yeah.
And you sell it and cash out, and everybody who helped you build it, you didn't give them shit.
And what happened there? They sold it, and then what happened? Is it still big? I don't think so.
No, well, the thing is that most writers who contributed over there, I don't know if they got a pittance or there was a promise of something bigger or,
right.
Whatever. But, obviously she made it into a name and then sold it and, said, okay, cash out. Goodbye.
See ya.
I'm taking my millions.
Yeah.
Thanks for nothing. You people mean nothing to me.
Well, somebody wants to buy us out. I'm going to put my hand up now. We'll take it. Wait, $2 million, $1 million each?
Yeah, I'll take $2 million for the show.
$2 million. Do I get $1 million?
Yeah.
I should get some of it.
I'll get 50-50.
All right, perfect.
So if somebody wants to buy out the CMS for $2 million, yeah, it's all yours.
And you know what? We'll stay on for 5 extra episodes.
Yeah, there you go. We'll help.
Unless you want us to.
We'll help shepherd the new host in.
We'll lie and say that these guys are better than us.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give them our endorsement.
Here's Skippy and Steve.
Right.
Hey, these guys are fantastic.
Yeah, they used to be known as Bob and Tom.
Yeah. Now they're the Classic Metal Show.
I heard Bob and Tom's looking for a gig.
Here's one right here.
Too funny. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Hail and kill, boys. It's Tim.
Hey, Tim, you just could not wait to get on the show. You called 5 minutes before the show started, and then you've been ringing my phone for the last 10 minutes. I sure hope you have something worthwhile to say on this last show of 2019.
Well, I was going to ask you a question about Donald Trump.
All right.
You guys were talking about the censorship on YouTube and how YouTube's just going to hell, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But didn't Donald Trump meet with a bunch of content creators in the last few months to try and stop all this garbage?
Well, they did. They had a summit at the White House about the content creators, but no matter what Donald Trump or these content creators do or say, they have no control over a corporation. The corporation can set their own rules, whatever that is. But the thing is they wanted to shed light on the fact that there's major censorship out there, typically on conservative commentators.
So you guys just think that it's going to remain like this?
No. What happens, as Chris was just explaining, it's always changing. And if YouTube goes away, which at the rate that they're going, they will, somebody else is going to spring up and take advantage of that. And then when they decide that, we got to censor shit or whatever it is that they do, somebody else is going to pick up the mantle. And it's just an ever-changing thing. It's a very fluid thing. But YouTube obviously was the one who started the whole video content, upload service. But technology is that at the point to where a lot of other people have jumped in on it. And just because, YouTube is, even though they're the most recognizable name and the biggest one out there, that doesn't mean that nobody else is ever going to rise to any kind of, heights.
Yeah. Think of it this way, Tim. Once upon a time, not that long ago, there was only Hulu. And the only place that you could stream content, movies and TV, was Hulu. And now there's 50 different outlets for this shit, or 100 different outlets for this shit. And literally in 10 years, it just multiplied by 100 times. So YouTube itself is not going anywhere. I will say that. YouTube is always going to be there because the liberal people will use it, and it's already integrated into so many devices and whatnot that they could use it to spread propaganda. So it's not going to go anywhere. What's going to go somewhere is the audience. The audience, half of the audience is going to abandon YouTube. People now, So basically their whole bottom line's going to be affected. Yeah, but YouTube doesn't care. See, that's where everybody gets lost. YouTube is a sub of Google, who has more money than anybody. So, Google's not going to be hurt too bad if half of the conservative people leave. And let's face it, YouTube is doing other things which are going to kind of counteract the influx of people that have left. I'll say openly, I fucking despise YouTube. I fucking hate YouTube. And as somebody that hates YouTube, I give them $50 a month for YouTube TV, and I give them $15 more a month for YouTube Music. So I'm almost in fact, I am. I'm a contradiction of terms, because as much as I hate them as a cocksucking company, I fucking give them more money than 90% of the free people that are bitching about it.
Yeah, it's just, I just want to be able to, so raise a fist. Obviously I'm okay with CMS because I'm subscribed to the website and it doesn't worry me if whatever, I don't care. But with raise a fist and stuff like that is very cool. Where am I going to find that now then?
Well, you move over to BitChute.
Well, hold on with that, because I don't know if this is true or not. Tim, I was actually going to message you off air, but I'll ask you to do it on air. You don't have to do it now, but I would love to get your answer to this. I read somewhere that BitChute is blocked in the entire country of Australia. So I wanted you to check and see if you could get to bitchute.com.
Okay, I'll do it now.
All right, it's it's bitchute.com. I'm just curious. Can you get to it?
CHUTE.
Yep. BITCHUTE.
Okay. So even spastics can type. No, it's here.
Oh, you got it? Oh, good. Excellent.
Yep.
Well, we are BitChute.com/Classic Metal Show, so you can get all our videos there.
Yeah, I don't worry about any of that stuff with you guys. I just subscribe to the site. I don't care. Yeah, well that was all. I just think this whole, I mean, if we start censoring, look, I mean, I might not agree with everything everybody says, but if we start censoring people's speech in this, I mean, God, I hate political correctness. I just can't stand it. And if we start censoring what people can say and what they can't say, whether we agree with it or not, I mean, the world's just going to be fucked. So,
no better words have been spoken, Tim.
All right. And by the way, I was very cynical, but I didn't think they were going to be able to do it. Neither did you guys. And it's very early days yet. Geez, the early ticket sales for the Motley Crue are kicking some ass. So, Merry Christmas to all. Happy more beer. Hail and kill.
And there goes Tiny Tim.
There he goes.
I hope he gets his leg fixed for Christmas.
What are you going to do that with plaster?
Yeah.
Get the 6th month?
Well, speaking of, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
When it comes to censorship and all that kind of stuff. I know I sent this to you early this morning because I fell asleep very early last night. I think I was asleep before 7.
Wow.
And I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And so I'm looking for stuff to watch, and because The Irishman is so popular right now, and speaking of YouTube, there was I shared it with you. There was a video of Jimmy Hoffa on the Dick Cavett show.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
And listening to that or watching that video or watching the show from 1973, mind you. Mm-hmm. So that's 46 years ago, almost 47 years ago.
Right.
The stuff that Hoffa was saying about the media and Congress, how, when Congress and the media collaborate, which is basically what they're doing now when it comes to Donald Trump, since Tim brought that up.
Right.
He was talking about how they will go out and just destroy a person. Their main focus is just collaborating, and anybody that crosses them or they don't like, they just make a concerted effort to destroy them.
Right.
And this is 46 years ago he's talking about this.
Right.
And nothing's changed. It's the same tactic.
Yeah, it really is.
But I found it fascinating, his thoughts on the prison system, because, again, that's another issue that is still an issue today, about the prisons and rehabilitation and, just basically warehousing people and all kinds of stuff, about his take on how the prisons should be segregated from the homos.
Right.
Because, whether Dick Cavett was a good interviewer or not, which I agree with you in your sentiment that, he never could stay on point.
Yeah, just a flighty garbage interviewer.
Yeah, but he was talking about Jimmy Hoffa's stay in prison and brought up the fact that, it's well known that in prisons, especially for the long-timers, because obviously they're no longer part of society, that they turn to homosexuality as a sexual outlet.
Right.
And he was asking Jimmy Hoffa about, were you ever approached? And if you were, how did you handle it? And he basically said, when you come in and you're strong and people know that you're strong, they're just going to leave you alone. They'll just prey on the weak.
Yeah.
He said, nobody approached me, but I can tell you what, most of the problems in prison are drugs and homosexuality, and both of those caused the prison riots and the stabbings and the fights and the killings and things that go on in prison. And he said it was really interesting, his take on that from 46 years ago.
No, I can't even fathom what goes on now, because that was when there was at least some bit of civility in human beings.
Right.
It's got to be 1,000,000 times more rough than that now, don't you think?
You would think so, yeah. But boy, I'll tell you, just his candid, open honesty about that stuff, that you couldn't get away with having a talk show like that today.
Oh no, definitely not.
Couldn't do it.
It's weird that this comes up. I'll share a personal story, and not really in my life, but a peripheral story to my life, I guess. A not childhood friend, but a early grown-up friend of mine, who I have not seen in years. Not that I'm trying to distance myself, although I need to say I haven't seen him in a while.
Okay.
Got caught up in one of these fucking pedophile stings over the summer. Cleveland had a big sting over the All-Star weekend. Baseball All-Star weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy got caught up in it. He got nailed trying to fuck a 15-year-old kid. And he showed up to whatever meeting point with fucking condoms, lube, and a fucking message saying, "Yeah, I'm here to fuck the 15-year-old kid."
Nice.
So he got sentenced this week.
Okay.
And I guess they plead down. They couldn't plead it out because it was a sting, so they're not going to let him out scot-free. But with no record at all, he got 18 months in a minimum security prison. So, and it's funny because my mom's the one that told me, because she obviously knows this guy too. And so she was trying to say, "Oh, well, hopefully he'll get some school and some college." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Mom, this dude is going to do the hardest 18 months there is to do, other than if he was in a fucking maximum or a regular prison."
Right.
He's going to, I mean, I don't care where you go. They do not want to hear about you trying to fuck kids.
Yeah, child fucker.
They do not want to hear that. And I what you were saying, and when I was watching that Hoffa thing, it came to my mind last night about how he was saying, if you come in and you're and you're strong, you won't get fucked with as bad. Well, I can tell you for a fact, this guy, not that.
He's not strong.
No, definitely not. Like, again, I don't know, but I would imagine if I ever had to go to prison, I'd probably be okay, because I would fight everybody the first fucking day,
right,
where they just know that I'm a problem.
Sure.
And most would not want to fuck with me. And the only ones that would want to fuck with me would be the guys that would fucking beat my ass, but even they wouldn't want to, because it would be more hassle than they generally want.
Right.
You have to kind of set that precedent. This guy, not so much. This guy was definitely, silver spoon.
Beta male?
Well, I don't know. A little tougher than beta male, but definitely not an alpha. And, been henpecked by his wife since she was his girlfriend. And fucking silver spoon guy.
Okay. Soft.
Yeah, very soft. And I just am like, wow, he is going to fucking really struggle.
Wow. All right.
Like, ooh, that's going to be 18 very long months.
Well, if you have any interest in this, just look up on YouTube, Dick Cavett, Jimmy Hoffa.
Right, sure.
That interview was absolutely fascinating, because it was just, he talked about his struggles against the government and how he was targeted, and how, the Kennedy administration was after him and they were relentless, and how when he went to prison, he didn't have the same protocol or rights that prisoners have, the limited rights that they have. He did not get to exercise any of those rights because Robert Kennedy basically told the prison system that, treat this guy like shit. And they did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just pretty rough. And I like the fact that, that Dick Cavett actually asked him about his thoughts on, when President Kennedy was killed and when he heard Robert Kennedy was killed. And he goes, is it true that you basically told your staff not to lower the flag?
That was funny.
And he goes, yeah, absolutely, that's true. He says, I respect the office of the president, but I didn't respect that guy.
Yeah.
And I told him, don't you lower that flag.
Yep.
It's like, fuck that guy. I hate him.
He really didn't. He didn't cave in, and he didn't give any politically correct answers that whole interview.
Not at all. And I like the fact that right at the end, as I mentioned in the email I sent you, that right at the end of the show when they were wrapping it up, Dick Cavett was trying to see if Hoffa would walk back his comments about homosexuals.
Yeah.
And he goes, absolutely not. I said what I said.
Yep, and that's it. Like it. I mean, what are they going to do? Fucking throw him back in jail? The guy did his 5 years, and he came out walking tall.
Yeah, he did. But I just like the fact that he stuck to his guns and didn't say, well, I didn't really mean to say that, or I didn't mean to offend anyone. No, he said, absolutely not.
Yep, not backing out of shit.
So you got to respect that, regardless of what he did or didn't do. Yeah. Obviously that, he was mixed up with a lot of bad dudes. That goes without saying.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, got to admire the guy. He stuck to his guns.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't back down for a second.
Not for one single second.
Now, did you get the impression that Dick Cavett was nervous about interviewing him and broaching some questions?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, he knew that Hoffa was still a man of power.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too far with a guy like that. You end up fucking found in your trunk tomorrow.
Well, that to me was just, I was riveted. It was only a 40-minute show, but I was just riveted. Yeah. Listening to this and hats off to Dick Cavett, regardless of his interviewing skills. At least he asked some, pointed questions.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I mean, for that interview, he did okay, but I was just more making an opinion overall when I sent that to you. I've watched several of his interviews.
Yeah.
And he stinks.
Oh, he's all over the place. He gets halfway into a question and then he kind of diverts off into something else, and he doesn't finish his sentences, and it's a strange thing. I agree with you. He's not a great interviewer, but boy, he got some good questions off to Hoffa, and Hoffa answered them, and I like that. I like that honesty.
Yeah, I'll take Jennifer or Natalie over him any day.
Well, he certainly, Hoffa certainly wasn't grandstanding. He just basically said, hey, this is my thoughts on this, or this is my thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
You ask the question, I'll give you the answer, whether it's politically correct or not. And speaking of that,
mm-hmm.
I know that you don't watch these Trump rallies.
Haven't seen a minute of one.
Well, I got to tell you, this rally that Trump held in Pennsylvania this week, man, he trolled the media and trolled the Democrats and trolled the lefties. Big league this time. Big league. I was laughing my fucking ass off because there was some protester during the rally, some chick protester,
mm-hmm.
and she was trying to capitalize on the whole grab the pussy thing.
Right.
And so she was out there protesting at the rally, holding up a sign, grabbing power back.
Okay.
And he's like, get her out. And the security over there, basically they didn't want to escort her out. They were like, have you ever seen people try to chase a chicken?
Yeah.
Where they just put their arms out and they just sort of like run along with the chicken and try to shoo it in one direction.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's what they were doing with this chick. She's like, right, they didn't want to put their hands on her, so they got their arms out, shooing her like a chicken. And he goes, come on, get her out. He goes, look at those guys being politically correct. He goes, I don't know who that guy is, but he didn't do a very good job. These guys want to be politically correct. And he goes, we don't like being politically correct, do we? And everybody's like, boo! It was so funny. And he was talking about, that whole Greta Thunberg thing.
I know of her.
Well, she's the whole climate change chick, right?
She back now or no?
Well, she got, she's on the Time magazine Person of the Year or whatever.
Oh, well, you know what? Then next time I go to the dentist, I'll probably know about it.
Yeah, well, the point is that he was talking about, the strides that this country has made under his leadership, being the number one energy producer in the world, with gas and oil and things. And he says, for those of you who don't, like the energy that we're producing here in the country, I mean, if the other person were in office, speaking of Hillary, he said, you'd be out there somewhere out in the middle of nowhere wanting to watch the election results. And it's like, God damn it, there's no wind to turn this windmill. He says, there used to be wind, but ever since that climate change, there hasn't been enough wind to power my TV.
Nice.
I mean, just busting on these people.
That's fun. Explain this to me, because, again, I'm not following along.
Yeah.
For the sake of argument, he gets impeached. He could still run for election, right?
Yeah, unless the Senate removes him from all impeachment means is to bring charges charges against. That's it.
Yeah.
And then it goes over to the Senate, and the Senate has to decide whether to remove him from office or not. Well, there's been 3 impeachments in the history of the United States presidency. Andrew Johnson, obviously Nixon, and then Bill Clinton.
Right.
And none of them have gotten removed from office. Obviously Nixon resigned. Mm-hmm. But they didn't remove Clinton from office. They didn't remove Johnson from office. And they're certainly not going to remove Trump from office.
God, hearing that, though, I hope to God he gets impeached.
Well, the thing is, here's the thing. Now that the irons are in the fire, a lot of these Democrats who won in heavy Trump districts, the ones that he won in the election, now they're gone, I don't really think this is a good way to go. They were all united. Yeah, get him. But now it's down to the time to where they're going to have to vote on it. And they're just like, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
I just like the thought of the Dems thinking that an impeachment will stop him from getting reelected.
No, well, it's the only thing that they're trying to do is drive down his popularity. That's all they're trying to do. They know they're never going to get him out of office.
Right.
But they're trying to destroy his credibility with the voters. That's what they're trying to do.
Don't you think him getting impeached by the Democrats will make him more popular?
And it has. His poll numbers have been rising ever since.
I don't watch any of it.
Yep.
I just think it'd be funny if this guy gets impeached and then gets voted back.
Well, that's the whole thing. His poll numbers have been rising, and interest in the impeachment process has just basically dropped through the floor. Nobody cares.
I just love the thought that they're basically going to say, we proved he's a criminal and you people don't care.
Yeah.
That's fucking hysterical to me.
Well, the thing is that this is not a bipartisan thing. This is just the Democrats. The Democrats. There's no partisan. There's no Republicans saying, our guy fucked up, so, I think I need to vote for this. This has all been brought by the Democrats. This is a wholly Democrat thing. This is not Congress. This is just the Democrats in Congress. So it's a joke. It's a sham.
Well, like I said, I haven't watched. I hear about it in drips and drabs here and there, but it's, I just find it funny, that he can actually get reelected, and that would be the greatest fuck you, even more great of a fuck you than him actually winning the election last year.
Well, here's the thing. His poll numbers in the battleground states like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, they're better than ever.
Yeah. They might change in Pennsylvania though.
I don't know.
Fucking Chevron just pulled out of there.
Yeah.
It's a big company, man.
Oh, I understand, but there's other companies over there, so.
Oh, I get it, but believe me, I felt it this week because it cost me a $700 party.
Really?
I felt it. They were supposed to rent Pinball PA for a Christmas party on Wednesday.
Yeah.
They called me that morning and said, yeah, they just announced that everybody's losing their gigs, so bugging, we won't be there. I was like, damn it! Why couldn't they wait till Friday to have that news so I could have made my money?
Yeah. I hear you. All right, well, not to get all into political stuff, but I just find it funny that, the media today is just failing miserably. Mm-hmm. Even with all the censorship with YouTube and, people of like minds being, trying to be shut down and silenced and this and that, it's just failing.
Right.
Big time.
Well, fuck them. That's what I say.
Well, that's the attitude everybody's taking. It's just like, yeah, fuck them.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention. I'm not going to patronize your site or your services or anything anymore.
Yeah, pal.
We'll go somewhere else.
Yeah. Although, will you, as it gets worse, will you stop using products based on their associations?
Possibly, yeah.
Will you?
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm definitely, I've made the decision. I'm not cutting off my nose despite my face.
Well, if it's something that, I obviously use YouTube. I don't agree with their policies. I don't agree with, how they're handling content creators and burying, people in their algorithms and, giving them strikes for speaking honestly and things like that. And, not holding the same standards for people on the left. The people on the left can get away with saying and doing all kinds of things, but nothing happens to them.
Right.
So when you don't hold people to the same standard, no matter what side of the, political or social spectrum they stand, then that's when I have a problem with it.
So will you like Netflix? Will you cancel Netflix?
For what reason?
Because they're leaning everything. They're putting more and more emphasis on left.
Well,
side
the thing is that if nobody watches those shows, they'll just automatically pull the plug themselves.
Right.
The things that are politically correct or, leaning to the left or whatever. If people don't patronize those things. I mean, look at what happened to One Day at a Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? One season or two and out the door? Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. If people aren't watching it, they'll pull the plug on its own.
Yeah. I just see a lot of people that are bitching about Netflix now as Obama flicks and whatever. It's like, look, it's easy to avoid that shit. Just don't watch it.
Yeah. Just don't watch it.
I know some semblance of some 1/10 of 1 penny each month will go to the Obamas, I guess, but whatever, none of my watching content is affected.
Yeah, exactly. So, the thing is everybody has their own value system, I guess. Stuff that I don't like or watch and other people don't like or watch, it'll go away. Mm-hmm. It always does.
Yeah.
I mean, every month I see an article out there. The shows that are being pulled from Netflix this month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That didn't last.
No, but I mean, the unfortunate truth is there's no real, alternatives. Not really.
Yeah, not at the moment anyway.
Yeah, all of Hollywood wants to have men sucking cock and fucking suck the Obama's dick.
Right. Yeah, well, it's an interesting question. I mean, when it has no use for me anymore, then that's when I stop patronizing something.
Yeah. I will say I've stopped. I watch a hell of a lot less YouTube than I used to, but I don't know that I made a political decision. I just sort of got used to using BitChute,
right?
And I go to BitChute more often than I do. When I want to look something up, I go to BitChute first. Now I just kind of converted myself.
Yeah, you got to kind of train yourself to do that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But don't support something that doesn't support you.
Right.
So
exactly,
everybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's not bring the show down.
Right.
Let's take a short break and let's get into some silly stuff.
Okay.
All right. What would you like to hear? I'll let you pick a tune.
All right. I'm in a heavy mood tonight.
All right.
So let's go Sepultura and go with Border Wars.
All right.
That would be on the Nation release.
All right. Who was it? Was it Jaffer? How did she say Sepultura? Or who?
Sepultura.
Sepultura. That's right. Yeah, let's play some Sepultura.
Yeah. And didn't the Rev say that too?
I think he did.
I think the Rev said Sepultura too.
Yeah. What was the song?
Border Wars.
Border Wars. There it is. All right, I got it.
All right.
All right, so we're going to play some Sepultura.
All right.
And something that our great president is doing, he's fighting a border war.
That's right.
border war with his border wall.
There you go.
All right, well, here it is. It's Border War exclusively here
on your classic metal show.
Hello, everybody. This is Max Cavalera, Sepultura, Soulfly, Cavalera Conspiracy, and you listen to the Classic Metal Show. I see everybody on tour.